Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here, and today I would like to show you how to cut out these cute little pumpkins from my new designer series paper that I just got in today in the mail, and it's called Spooky Night by Stampin' Up. Now this paper is very special. It's part of the 2017 holiday catalog, and I just, out of all the papers in the stack, this lends itself to the Brother Scan and Cut the most. And the reason why is because of the solid images, the solid lines. Okay, so I'm just going to start out by telling you a couple things about my settings. My blade depth, whenever I cut designer series paper, my Brother Scan and Cut, is a blade depth of 4. Okay, I'm going to load that in. I also wanted to say that I usually use a spatula to attach the paper to the mat, but this time I didn't have my spatula, so I'm just using some tape. And I don't want to tape over the nice pumpkins. I also don't want to tape over these sections because they're needed for the scanner. So I was just taping over the half pumpkins, the ones that I don't mind if they don't cut out all the way. Okay, when you turn on your machine, you're going to see the two choices, pattern and scan. I'm just going to go ahead and say scan. Because I want to directly cut out these pumpkins from the paper, my choice is going to be direct cut. It's in black and white recognition mode. I'm going to go ahead and load the paper. And I'm going to just start the process of scanning. And while it's scanning, I usually give the paper a little bit of a rub just to make sure it stays on the mat really well. Because from scanning to cutting, you don't want it to move at all. Okay, let's see what kind of job it did. Now, I used black and white recognition mode only because these pumpkins were already, they were like not a lot of contrast between the color and the background. So black and white was just fine for that. And also black and white is faster. Okay, it looks like it did a fantastic job, as you can see. You can see all of the different pumpkins that were selected. Now, if I were to put an outline around these pumpkins right now using this option, I think that I would get an error saying that these images are going to be overlapping. So I'm just going to cut them out as is. But one thing I do want to do is I'm going to ignore the object size for very small objects, because some of these pumpkin faces, I don't want those to cut out. I also don't want to ignore objects too small because the little pumpkins would be really super cute to cut out. I'm just going to go ahead and try 0.35 and see how that does. And say okay. And okay, one more time. It's going to let me preview before I cut. At that point, if I have any little fragments that I don't want to cut, which I see that I do, I can actually go in and edit those out. Okay, so I'm just going to go in, and you can see there's one selected down there. I'm going to zoom in and show you. Okay. There's a few pieces, like that piece there, the little mouth. I don't need to cut that out. I don't need to cut out, oh, I like that one. I don't need to cut out this piece over there. So therefore, I can either cut it out because it really doesn't matter, except that it's going to take a little extra time, or I can go ahead and trash those little pieces. And by trashing those little pieces, they won't cut. And sorry I don't have my stylus right now. I've been traveling. I actually took my scan and cut on the airplane with me. I'm now gathering my craft things. I think I know where it is, and I'm going to probably have it for my next video. Okay, so I'm cutting out. The reason I'm not cutting out these, I'm deleting these little parts of the jack-o'-lanterns, little pumpkins, because I can actually, if I don't cut them, I can use the pumpkin for something else later. But if I cut part of the pumpkin out, I've ruined it. So there's one more left. There you go. I think I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to just go and say cut. Now, it's going to take 8 minutes. You obviously don't want to wait 8 minutes and watch this cut out. So while it's doing that, I will stop the video and then I'll come back and show you how to remove these from the mat and some other things about this paper pack. See you in a few. Hello, crafty friends. This is part 2 of my spooky night demonstration. Okay, what I've done is we've just cut out. I'm going to go ahead and remove the mat, unload the mat. Okay, what we've done is for the last 8 minutes, these little pumpkins have been cutting. Okay, and I said I was going to make another video, so you wouldn't have to watch the machine cut for 8 minutes. Okay, so in this part of the video, I want to show you how to remove the pumpkins from the mat, and I'm going to give you a peek at some of the other papers in this designer series. Okay, stack. Okay, so anyway, let's put this here so you can see. Now, I told you I usually use painter's tape, but I didn't have any. I'm traveling right now. I'm just going to remove just a little piece of Scotch tape. I told you I don't want to tape over the nice pumpkins because sometimes Scotch tape rips the pumpkins. Okay, so I just taped over a few pumpkins on the side. It's important to secure your mat. If you have a new mat, it should stick, no problem, the first few times. Then the mats for the Brother Scan and Cut do not remain very sticky. They're not like the Cricut mats, okay? They're not very sticky at all, but they also are, it's also an advantage when it comes to getting the items off your paper. They're very easy to remove. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little rub, and let's see how it did, okay? Wow, look at that. Wonderful, wonderful job. And even those. Beautiful, beautiful job. Now imagine how long that would it take to fuzzy cut all of those pumpkins. So you have them on the mat, and the trick I told you I was going to show you for removing them is just to bend your mat. Okay? You just bend the mat and things fall right off the mat. Curl it up, bend it, and then just give them all a lift. You can use a little spatula, and they make lots, in fact it came with one, it's with my stylus, that I told you I'm going to find for my next video. Alright, so there you go, there you have it. A wonderful, wonderful job. I can't wait to embellish my Halloween projects with these little cute pumpkins. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some other things about this series. Again, it's the Spooky Night collection. So I did use the Brother Scan and Cut on the cat paper. Now, first of all, I always get the punches, pretty much. When I see any paper that coordinates with a punch, I usually buy the punches. So in this case, here are 4 cats that I punched out using the new cat punch, which is also in the holiday catalog. And I love the cat punch because you can just cut silhouettes of cats just right out of the paper, or on the other side you can cut the cat itself. Now the disadvantage to a punch is that you have one option. That's it. It puts a tiny border around your cat. Okay? But when you have the Brother Scan and Cut, you can put any size border you want. In this case, I'm going to peel this off. Okay, I just wanted a nice uniform border around my cats. Plus, after punching out 4 of them, I started getting tired of trying to reorient the paper upside down and trying to cut them. So I just figured, let me just use the Brother Scan and Cut to cut out the remaining cats from the paper. Okay, so there's the advantage. And it was speed, its uniformity of the outline. Okay, there's just a lot of reasons I love the Brother Scan and Cut. Okay, but the punch, on the other hand, is portable. I can bring this to my craft classes. I can bring it to my crops. And I can sit and watch TV and punch out shapes. Okay, so both have their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, I wanted to show you some other papers in this series and tell you why I would probably, use the Brother Scan and Cut or why I would not. Now, in this case, I know right away, so the witches' hats, that all these ones that have defined lines, like the black and the orange, they're going to cut really well. Okay, but I also know that these will not. Okay, because there's no defined outline. Now, I have 2 options. Okay, I could just cut the ones that'll cut really nice and kind of scrap the rest of the paper, or fuzzy cut out these. Okay? Or my other option is just use this as card backgrounds and use it for something else. Because by cutting out the ones that will cut out nicely and leaving the others, I'm going to have lots of holes in this paper. And then you can't do as much with it. Okay, here's another piece in the series. This would do really well. These little potions would cut out really well because they have nice defined outlines. Okay, but I may save the pattern for something else. You never know. Okay, detailed branches. Okay, they would do a really nice job in the black, but then I would be losing this nice moon. So I'd probably leave these as square shapes and not use the Brother Scan and Cut. Just gonna let you peek at the background of these papers as I'm explaining this. I would never ever use the Brother Scan and Cut on this. Too many detailed words, not worth it. Maybe if I would use the Brother Scan and Cut if I was cutting out backgrounds for my card bases, but that's about it. I would never try to cut out these words because it would take too long and there's no reason for it because the paper is so nice the way it is. And on the back of the cats is this beautiful pattern. Can't wait to cover some mini coffee cups in this pattern. All right, what else do we have here? We kept a sheet of pumpkins, this beautiful stripes and beautiful circles. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the papers that are in this year's holiday catalog. I'm not allowed to show you the inside of the catalog, but I can give you a little sneak peek at the cover of the catalog. So please check out my store, my Stampin' Up! Store. These products will be available September 1st. And in the meantime, there's lots of clearance items. Like last year's Halloween paper is in the clearance section of the Stampin' Up! Store. I'll have the link at the end of this video, but it's paperchef.stampinup.net. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel, ask questions about the Brother Scan and Cut, or leave a comment. Thank you.